So this is like the basic introduction of the entire game, about its core loop, on its working, controls, etc. And then the second frame which you see here is the breakdown of how the exact gameplay takes place. And here inside the game, if I have to give a brief example of the game, it's a game where you just have to use one of your fingers and tap or hold on top of the screen, and you have to control a character and make it such that the character goes onto a dune at the perfect angle and gains momentum. So once I start explaining, it will be much easier to understand. So for that dunes to get generated, it's procedurally getting generated, right? For that, extra frame was required because the entire explanation is done in this frame, where how the dune is exactly getting generated is showcased. Yeah. So I'll just start with the introduction. Here, Rishi has basically explained the game itself with a brief description. So Dune is basically a hyper casual game developed by Voodoo Games. In this game, we control a ball-like object so that, as I said, it should gain momentum by giving it the perfect angle to land on a particular dune. Our goal is basically to gain as much points as possible. And whenever we gain the perfect momentum, there's a horizon line, and if we pass that horizon line, we'll get points. So basically, our goal is to pass that horizon line and gain as much points as possible. So here is the game core loop. So we have to just tap and hold on the screen to gain momentum, and we have to make the jump above the line, which I call as the horizon line, and we have to make a smooth landing to make sure like we gain more momentum to cross the horizon even further away. If we don't like what do you say land exactly like in a perfect angle, we will crash. So our goal is to not crash and gain as much points as possible. So that's the basic core loop. So let's go to the actual Dune gameplay breakdown. So in the main menu, as I was saying, like you can see the all the aspects. Like it's basically explaining how the gameplay works. So this is the basic main menu which you can see. Then once you start the game, the player will be accelerating here. If you can see, this is your character, and these are the dunes which I was talking about, and also this is the background. This is your current score which is shown at the top. So you have to hold in order to accelerate, go above, and this is the horizon line. You have to cross this horizon line to get points. Then, as I was saying, you have to go above this horizon line, and you can see all the dunes which are coming in front of you, and you can either decide to tap here itself so that you can decelerate here and gain momentum, or else wait for this ball to go farther here and then tap here so that you can accelerate here. So it's dependent on you, so you have to time it right. Then smooth landing. So once you perform a perfect landing, it will be showcased here. It will say smooth landing, so you have a multiplier of ×2. Here you can see, I don't think it's showcased here, okay. But whenever we cross the horizon line, we should get 1 point. But in this case, we are getting 2 because we have a ×2 multiplier because of the smooth landing which we just did. Then here, if you see, I did the smooth landing twice, and because of that, I got ×4 multiplier, and instead of +2, I got +4 points. So after, if you based on how many times you do the continuous smooth landing, that many times you get the multiplier. And if you do multiple, what do you say, smooth landings, the trail effect which you can see, by default it's like a fireball one, which looks extremely basic. But here it's like shiny, and also the VFX effect, which is like cosmetic, extremely cosmic type. So based on the number of times you do the smooth landing streak, you get this VFX effect. And once you do the smooth landing, the game also shows like if you land it here, you can get 2 times more, so basically 4 times the multiplier. So the game is basically helping you to achieve more multipliers in this case. Then we have the coins. Collecting each coin will gain the point by 1. And also these coins, as I mentioned, can be used to purchase cosmetics in the game. Then crashing. Once you crash, like let's say in this case, if the player had landed here, he could have gained more momentum and went past the horizon line. But since he crashed exactly on the middle here, he is dead and he has to play the game again. And once the game is over, it will show your score which you did in this current run, and also below that it will show your high score which you have done in all the previous runs. And once you tap on the screen, you can continue to play the game again. And this is the leaderboard which I was mentioning about. So in the world leaderboard, it will show your ranking. Then league reward, it is shown in this like this type of reward is showcased, basically a chest, and also the league which you are present in this case, which is the Ruby League. And once you claim on this reward, the chest will open up and you will get a particular reward. And if you go to the next league, this is the progression it shows. Then we can based on the coins which we had collected, we can either customize the character, customize the dunes, or customize the background. So we have 3 different customizations. And then again, as I said, this is the background, then this is for the characters where you can like customize your character. Then there are challenges in the game. If you complete a particular challenge, you get these many amount of coins which is mentioned below the task. Most of these tasks are extremely simple to perform, so if you perform them, you get that the many amount of tasks. And once you activate the task, it will take you to the level, and you have to perform the task in this particular level, not in general level. In this particular level, once you complete it, the game will be over and you get the reward. And there's an actual shop as well where you can buy the coins in order which you have to spend IRL money for, and once you get the coins, you can spend it on cosmetics. Then tickets, as I was mentioning, this is the tickets. It shows the number of tickets which is present in the game, and also the timer is shown, indicating how much time is left for the next ticket to be generated. Then you can buy the tickets from the shop as well, or else you can watch an ad to get 3 tickets. So you basically can play 3 levels once you watch an ad. It's extremely like useful. Let's say if your tickets are all empty and you don't have anything to do, so instead of just waiting around, you can watch a 30-second or 1-minute ad and then get 3 tickets. Then there are also keys in the level which I forgot to mention. Once keys are extremely rare in the game, and once you collect the keys, it will be stored, and once you have 3 keys, you can open up a chest which you usually get in the reward. And see here, it's saying that you need 3 keys to open a reward, and you have to choose between all these chests which reward you want. And if you have only 3 keys, you can open one key for each chest. So in this case, there are 3 chests which is open, and you got 75, 75, 150 total coins. And then we have the settings. So in settings, basically you can control the audio, the vibration, and also the privacy settings. So basic settings which we can all see in the other games as well. Then lucky spin reward. So you can spin this daily once, and based on your luck, you'll be getting the reward. So in this case, most of the rewards is coins itself. One is ticket. This is a ball skin, and I'm not sure what this is, but that is one of the rewards. Oh, this is basically you can spin the wheel again, so you get another chance at spinning the wheel. So this is basically the breakdown of the game. This game is extremely simple, and hence not much complex breakdown was needed like Beach Buggy or Chameleon Run. This was done in like quite a few frames, but the concept of generating the dunes was extremely difficult. If you can see here, the dunes here which are generated are extremely random, right? And in some cases, what happens, like once this pointy thing gets generated here, another pointy thing might get generated beside it as well, and it's not good because you cannot gain momentum using that. So you have to make it in such a way that it uses good slopes for the momentum to be gained, and also it's not extremely difficult so that you cannot gain the momentum at all. If in this case, the way these guys use this, what do you say, moment dune generation is by 2 things. One is they put out control points, and they use a spline method, and in this specific case, the spline method which they use is called as cat mull rom spline. So I'll here extremely, like, what do you say, detailed definition is given by Rishi. If you want, you can read it out by pausing the stream for a while. I'll just scroll down it a bit, but I'll explain this in extremely simple terms for now. So the way it works is, I said there are control points, right? So control points are basically points which are placed at a certain distance from each other, and each of these points depict the peak of a particular dune. So in this case, this is the dune's peak. In this case, this is the dune's peak, etc. So each one has its own peak, and it's not that all the peaks are at the same height. Some peaks are higher, some peaks are lower. What Catmull ROM spline does is it smoothens out all these control points. So instead of making it extremely pointy, it becomes extremely smooth, and also the what do you say, the bottom part of it also becomes extremely smooth, so that the player can gain momentum extremely easily. And then based on whatever is getting generated below that spline, the mesh gets generated. In this case, the skin which was provided for the mesh was this, so this mesh gets generated below this curve. And since it will not be this pointy, since we did this in Figma, it's extremely pointy as of now, but it will follow this curve spline, and it will be basically a dune. The reason why this is like extremely narrow is because in this case we had to generate a graph, right? We made it narrower, but in the game's sake, these control points which are showcased will not be present exactly here. It will be placed at a certain distance from each other, all these points. And because based on the distance, the dunes, what do you say, width will be enhanced. So this is the way the procedural dune gets generated. Here again he has mentioned it in a what do you say a flowchart kind of way. So noise gets generated, which is a control points in this case, and we are smoothing the you say smoothing the what do you, control points using the Catmull ROM spline, and based on the difficulty, these control points are placed. So if it's extremely easy, the control points are placed extremely far from each other. For medium, it's much closer, and for what do you say hard, it's even much closer, so that the width of the dune decreases. And then after that, the physics mesh gets generated, which is shown in this case. Below whatever the curve was obtained, below that the mesh gets generated. Then sometimes they recycle the mesh which is used. So in this case, this mesh gets generated. This is entire spline, and then a second spline is generated here, and the end of the first spline gets connected with the end of the second spline. And this in this way, by using multiple splines, in this case he has called it as segments. There are infinite number of dunes gets generated. So segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, until segment n, and this gets into an infinite loop, as I said. So this is the way the dune gets generated in this game currently, and this is the entire breakdown of the game.